going on, everybody? That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Um, Disappointed. I don't really know what to say. Um, Cowboys lose 31-14 to the Bears in a beatdown. Uh Once again, Cowboys make a quarterback that either hasn't been very successful for a bit of time in the NFL, or a quarterback that has had literally no success in the NFL, make him look like an absolute Pro Bowl, all pro quarterback. And it's crazy. Man, let's talk about it.
Here we go! Yeah, here we go! Wait, take Cowboys.
Throws back of the end zone. There's
What's up, everybody? Cowboy C3. Caleb Williams goes 19 of 28 for 298 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is incredible. Caleb Williams, 4 touchdowns passing. DeAndre Swift, 13 for 33 yards. You know, they didn't run the ball particularly well. Cowboy run defense kind of stood up for the most part till they got tired and couldn't stop the run anymore. But Luther Burden has 3 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown. Roma Dunze has 3 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift has 3 catches for 46 yards. DJ Moore had 4 catches for 21 yards. It was pretty embarrassing. I really don't know how else to describe it. Offense came out, they ran the ball extremely well. Dak was pretty efficient, 31 of 40 for 251. A lot of throws underneath because the Bears were just all out blitzing. He was trying to read hot routes. But, I mean, it got to a point in the game to where you don't need a 5-yard out. You got to stand in there and throw the ball. And he did that, right? He did the best that he could. He stood in there. What's up, bro? He did the best that he could. But, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. 1 interception bounced right off George Pickens' hands, and the other one, towards the end of the game, he tried to force the ball into the end zone. Nobody was open, just threw the ball up and ended up getting picked off. It is what it is. Javonte Williams, once again, 10 carries, 76 yards, 7.6 yards a carry. Miles Sanders, 9 carries for 41 yards, 4.6 yards a carry. Jake Ferguson had 13 catches for 82 yards, no touchdowns. George Pickens, 5 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. Turpin had 2 for 64. Tober had 3 for 24. Ryan Flanor had 2 catches for 21. No CD Lamb catches today. Got hurt early in the game. Looks like it'll probably be a high ankle sprain on a reverse. Just wasn't good. Said, how's it going, bro? Not very good. Just a bad performance, particularly by your defense. Once again, Trayvon Diggs looked lost. Man, it's funny because my phone has been absolutely blowing up since like the 3rd quarter, and I didn't even know what I was gonna say if they actually lost this game. I don't really have much to say. It just the way the game started off. 35-yard touchdown to Roma Dunze, where Trayvon Diggs, I guess he slipped and fell down. And hats off to Caleb Williams for seeing it. But I mean, it was one of those throws where it looked like he was going to throw the ball anyway. He didn't care if Trayvon Diggs slipped or not. Next play was a 65. Next scoring play for the Bears was a 65-yard touchdown pass to Caleb Williams on a damn flea flicker. And threw a beautiful ball. And Malik Hooker standing back there looking around. I don't know what he was doing. Probably got caught up in the run action. don't know, but Luther Burden gets over his head for his first career touchdown. Brandon Argy kicked a couple field goals. Then George Pickens made an excellent one-handed grab to make the score 14-14, but the Bears go right back down the field. Kick a field goal to take the lead 17-14 going to the half. The next drive was absolutely insane. It was, they literally ate up the entire third quarter with one drive, and Cole Kmet 10-yard pass was wide open for a touchdown, 24-14. And then DJ Moore catches a wide open pass in the back of the end zone to make the score 31-14. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. Get it? The Bears, embarrassing. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, if we go back to Cowboy keys to victory, the defensive keys were pressure Caleb Williams. That didn't happen. Do not lose containment. Once you pressure him, keep him in the pocket, make him uncomfortable, make him make throws down the field that he really doesn't want to make. That didn't happen. Keep speedy receivers in front of you. That didn't happen. It doesn't matter what you do if your defense is porous. Offensive keys to victory were control the line of scrimmage. For the most part, they ran the ball pretty well. Established the run early. They absolutely did that, and take advantage of the missing corners, which they sort of did. You know what I mean? But not really. My friend Nick says hi. Tell Nick I said hello, Caleb. What's going on? I'm gonna call you as soon as this is over with. It didn't happen. It just didn't, and it's kind of embarrassing because I believe I said yesterday, if the Cowboys don't get out of this zone defense, they are like what you saw against the Giants will continue to happen week after week after week. And they come right back out in the zone and it happens again. And I don't know what has to happen in order for particularly the defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, to understand that you don't have the personnel in the locker room to play a zone defense. You just don't have it. Diggs is not a zone corner. Every time Trayvon Diggs plays a zone, he gets burnt. And it always seems like he's looking for help. Like he's turning around, he's got his hands out, and they're playing a cover three. The high safety's playing in the middle of the field, and the two corners are supposed to get back and play the outside from hash to hash, and it's not happening. He gets caught up with something that's going on inside, particularly the dude that's lined up in front of him, and the slot receiver burns down the sideline, and he's open every single time, and Diggs just looks crazy. Elam, same thing. These dudes are not zone corners. You didn't work on it enough in training camp to where they have a full understanding of their responsibilities and what they're supposed to do. So switch them back to a man. At least if you get beat one-on-one, you get beat. There's nobody to blame. Like, I'm not in a zone. I don't know what I'm doing in this zone. I'm just lost. The middle of the field is open. The outside the hashes are wide open, and it's completely embarrassing the way quarterbacks, especially these last couple of weeks, and they don't change something soon, it'll be the whole season. How they can just come out, stand in a clean pocket because you're getting no pressure on the quarterback and just deliver passes down the field, 20, 30 yards down the field with no repercussions. Like, there's nothing that is going to happen. You are going to stand in a clean pocket, and if we blitz, it's going to leave the middle of the field wide open where I can either attack the line of scrimmage, make a linebacker step up and dump the ball over his head, or you just give me a free running lane and I can just do whatever the hell I want to do. And you got mobile quarterbacks coming up. You got Jordan Love coming up next. You got Bryce Young coming up the week after that. And, of course, you would think that the Cowboys, like, oh, it's Carolina, they'll beat Carolina. Bullshit. No, they won't. Not with this defense. They play the run pretty well. They played the run tonight for 2.5 quarters. They played the run pretty well. Defense just got tired. offense got into a situation where they had to throw the football around and you're missing your best receiver, and because he's got a high ankle sprain, he got hurt on the damn reverse. Like, stop doing that shit. Like, give the ball. If you're gonna give a ball on the reverse, give the ball to Turpin. I know CD Lamb will line up in the backfield. I know he'll run the ball some, and I get it. And it's one of those things, like, if you run the ball close to the line of scrimmage, you got wide receivers messing with linebackers, you probably gonna get rolled up. And that's just a hazard of the occupation. It's a hazard of the play call. I mean, the shit happens. And CD Lamb will probably be out for a week or two. So you're gonna go into this Green Bay game and possibly into the Carolina game without your best wide receiver. That's terrible. It sucks. But injuries happen. It's football. It is what it is. But today, getting text on my phone and right at the beginning of the third quarter, like, it had, now we can't stop the run. I said, man, I just think they've given up. I think they've quit. And it's tough. So salute, bro. Passing through and dropping a like on the video. I'm out later, brother. I appreciate you passing through. Thank you very much. It's embarrassing. It's not something that well, I mean, to be honest, it is something that we could see. We could see it last week. You can see that the pass defense, especially the pass defense, they're not very good. And one reason that they're not very good is because quarterbacks are under no duress whatsoever when they play this team. They're just not. You can, even with blitz packages today, even the blitz packages were getting picked up. Like, everything was picked up. Caleb Williams played in a clean pocket the entire game. Dak Prescott, on the other hand, was getting smashed. He was getting hit, and still delivered some good balls. It's just luck of the draw. The pick, hit Pickens right in both his hands. Pickens looked like he was probably trying to turn up field and get whatever he was going to get, and just forgot to catch the ball. Ball ends up bouncing into linebacker's hands, and then on the interception in the end zone, Dak's just throwing up desperation shit, trying to make something happen when there's nothing there. And price you pay when you're down 31-14 and you're trying to make something happen. Joe Milton came in, looked good for about three or four different plays, and then threw a ball right over the middle, and it got picked off too. It just is what it is, man. Like, there's nothing you can do when you go in and your defense is ill prepared. Teams in the NFL are now absolutely writing down in their book, when we play the Dallas Cowboys, we about to air this thing out. We about to put the ball down the field, and ain't shit they can do about it. Especially if they keep lining up in that dumbass zone. It is what it is. Total yards today, Cowboys had 396, Bears had 385. Felt like the Bears had about 800. Passing yards, Cowboys threw for 275, Bears threw for 298. Rushing yards, Cowboys had 121 yards rushing, 5.9 yards a play. Bears had 87 yards rushing, but they averaged 6.8 yards a play because they were throwing the ball down the damn field. Bears had 19 first downs, Cowboys had 23. Bears with 8 of 14 on third down, Cowboys with 3 of 11. Fourth down efficiency, Cowboys with 2 of 3, Bears with 1 of 1. 67 total plays, 2 sacks allowed for the Cowboys, none for the Bears. 2 punts by the Cowboys, 4 for the Bears. 4 penalties for 25 yards for the Cowboys, 6 for 41 for the Bears. 1 fumble lost on a really good play by the corner on the first drive. Javonte Williams had a good run, like a 26-yard run. Corner just came behind him and took the damn ball. And, great headsy football play. Not paying attention, not protecting the ball. That's what you're supposed to do. Does it hurt your soul that this team breaks your heart every time? It's like a girlfriend that cheats on you every other week, but you keep forgiving her because you love her. Well, it's funny you describe it like that, because I describe it as you take your dog on a walk and he runs across a busy street every week on Sunday, and you don't know what the hell is about to happen to that damn dog. Trucks passing over him. He just weaving in and out of traffic. He's doing all types of shit. And, 9 times out of 10, he's going to get hit and he gets hit, and you go over there and pick him up and take him to the vet and get him all fixed up, and he do the same shit the next Sunday. It's similar to what you're saying, very similar, but it's I don't know, man. Like I've gotten to the point now to where um I love the Cowboys. Of course, they're my favorite football team, but I literally watch games for content purposes only because I know for a fact that they're not very good. And it's going to be exactly like James Pierre said. It's like your girl just keep cheating on you because and you keep forgiving her because you love her. I guess I'm just a loyal motherfucker. I guess I don't know. It's There are things that the Cowboys could do to maybe get a little better. He said, "Bless your heart, Corey." Oh man, that is hilarious. Um, there's things that the Cowboys can do to get better. I don't think. Well, for one, you got to get CD Lamb healthy, and that's going to take you a couple of weeks, and that's okay, man. Injuries happen. That just is what it is. Um, You're running the ball extremely well. Like they are running the ball well. Javonte Williams looks fantastic. Um, and I'm not the biggest Miles Sanders fan in the world, but if you're gonna come in and give 30, 40 yards and as the secondary back, that's cool. I like that. I still think that they need to figure out some kind of way to get Jaden Blue involved in the offense and give yourself something of some sort of dynamic player. And other than Cavante Turpin. And what I mean everybody knows that CD Lamb is this dynamic wide receiver, and George Pickens definitely has dynamic capabilities. But I'm talking about somebody that can absolutely blow the roof off the field. You have that player with Cavante Turpin, but every time Turpin gets on the field, they bracket cover the shit out of him. Like he is going to have a person over him, and he is going to have a deep safety over the top. And these long developing plays where it's a crossing route to Turpin, that shit takes an hour and a half to develop because he's not going across the field till he's 35, 40 yards down the field. Like, that's so predictable. Like, anytime Cavante Turpin lines up in the slot and that is a play action pass, he's running that crossing route. And today the Bears they bid on it, but the Bears didn't really play that good. They didn't play great defense either. They got great pressure on the quarterback. They didn't play that good in the secondary. Both of their starting corners were missing. But Jaden Blue gives you a wrinkle that you don't have. He's a 4-2 guy. You give him the ball and he's electric. He gives you that type of capability every time he touches the ball. If you watch him at University of Texas, he can catch the ball too. You can line the dude up at slot. You can line him up, just give him the ball out of the backfield on swing, pass, something, just some sort of electricity. I don't know what's going on with him in the locker room. There's obviously something that's keeping him off the field, obviously. And they need to clean that shit up and get him an opportunity to be on the field. But more importantly, like you have to do something, one, to fix this secondary. And I think the easiest way to fix it and not go out and spend a whole bunch of money trading for a corner, the easiest way to fix it is to get out of that damn zone. You have to leave that shit alone. It doesn't work for the Cowboys. It just doesn't. You got these man-to-man corners. That's what they've run probably their whole life, and you got them trying to play zone. Kyer Elam is a pretty decent man-to-man corner. You line up in the zone, he sucks. Diggs has lost a step, but he's pretty decent man-to-man. But you line him up in the zone, he is absolutely horrendous. You keep putting pressure on these safeties. You keep putting pressure on Malik Hooker, and you keep putting pressure on Donovan Wilson, and you know them dudes can't cover. You know they can't. Donovan Wilson, I've been saying that shit for 2 years. Donovan Wilson is a liability in coverage, but you keep dropping his ass back in coverage. It's just not smart. Let them dudes play over the top. Don't get beat deep. It's going to be somebody there. If you in man, somebody's there helping the safety. Only thing he's there to do, corner play the ball, safety will come in and level whoever the receiver is, whether it's a tight end or a wide receiver, whoever it is, right? That's what Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker, that's what they do well. You keep leaving their asses in coverage, and it's super evident once you got down to the goal line. Cole Kmet and DJ DJ Moore wide open in the end zone, right in the middle. Who's supposed to be there? The damn safety. It's always gonna be like that if you keep running this bullshit ass zone. It doesn't work. And maybe it'll get better towards the end of the season if you stick with it. But shit, by that time you could be 2-8. And we just sit here and keep having these same conversations that we having right now. They got lucky last week. If you don't have a kicker that's a damn robot and can kick 60, 70-yard field goals, we having this same conversation about the game last week. They got lucky. That's what happened. You lucked out and got a win. And the crazy part about it to me is that you go out and do the same shit and expect different results. And that's just not how things work. Same players, same defense, same zone, same results. The shit's not going to change. It's not going to be different this time. I told everybody yesterday, the Bears, they don't have a Malik Neighbors, a dynamic player like Malik Neighbors, but they got two pretty good receivers and they got a good tight end. Like their wide receiver room is probably better than the Giants. Do the Giants have a better individual player? Yeah, they do. But the Bears have some pretty good receivers in Roma Dunze and DJ Moore. Those dudes are pretty freaking good. And if you don't keep them in front of you, you get shit like what happened today. It's embarrassing. Like what's crazy to me is that, if I can sit here and say, if you don't do this, it's going to be a long afternoon. If you don't do this, it's going to be a long afternoon. And these dudes are getting paid in the locker room to not do the shit, right? And I'm not even talking about the players. I'm talking about the coaches. Players are going to line up and run whatever you tell them to run. That's just how it works. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it works. You tell us to line up in a cover 3, we're not just going to buck the system and say, nah, we're going to run man this time. They're going to run a cover 3 and keep getting their ass toe up. That's how it happens. But, it's definitely not going to get any easier because you got a hungry Green Bay team coming into town that lost. And I don't know if anybody was paying attention to the NFL today, how many games were won or lost by block kicks. They lost to Cleveland on a block kick. So they're going to come in here hot. They're going to be angry. We're dealing with bad weather here, man. So my stream may go in and out with the weather here around the area is getting pretty bad. That's just how everything is going to work if something doesn't change. And there's a lot of people, you start reading these blogs and stuff, but a lot of it seems to be a consensus like they want Matt Eberflus's head. They like this dude has got to go. But I think that the sign of a good coach, to me, the sign of a good coach is if something in my system isn't working or something in my scheme isn't working, what can I do to change it to right the ship? Like it is pretty obvious in these past 2 weeks that this zone coverage that they're trying to play where the corners are 10, 12 yards off the ball, like it's not working. Like you 10, 12 yards off the ball and you still getting beat deep. Like that's insane. And it's just not, you don't have the personnel to do that. Now, if you want to clean house and get the personnel to do that shit next year, then do it next year. But don't do it now. Like, I mean, unless you just want to lose games. I mean, hell, Arch Manning finally had a good game yesterday. Maybe he's back on the radar. I don't know. I can't call it right now. But it's just, yeah, that was tough to watch. That was embarrassing. That was, to me, in my opinion, that was just as embarrassing as the Green Bay loss in the playoffs. To me. It's a game that, especially in a game where you feel like you have the better football team. Green Bay has just had Dallas's number for last 5-6 years. The Bears, like, you're not supposed to lose to the Bears. Like, that's not supposed to happen. But then to go out and not only lose to the Bears, get your ass whooped by the Bears, that's just that's really bad. Just to be nice about it, that's really bad. But anyway, man, Cowboys lose 31-14. Embarrassing loss, excuse me. You know, you got to buckle down. You got Green Bay coming in on a Sunday night game next week. And they're coming off a loss in a game they absolutely shouldn't have lost either. And they feel like that this, promise you, when they come here, they're gonna feel like that this is a game we absolutely cannot lose either. And they're gonna come out and they're gonna play hard. And I don't know if Dallas can sustain it. I really don't. Offensive line started to break down a little bit today too. Particularly in pass protection. Mainly because Chicago's defense realized, like, hey, they're not finna run the ball. We can just pin our ears back and get after this damn quarterback. And, we'll all out blitz the shit out of him, and we'll do what we got to do in order to make him uncomfortable. And they did a good job of it. That fourth down play down on the goal line, I don't know why you don't run the ball. I don't know why. It's 4th and goal from the 2. I don't know why you don't give the ball to Javonte Williams. Just let him get you 2 yards and score. You run a crossing play that the Bears absolutely 100% were ready for, right? And Dak has to throw up a prayer and it ends up getting picked off. Just run the damn ball in the end zone and get it over with. Not saying that score would have made any difference. I mean, it just makes the score look better is what it does, because you got to get 2 onside kicks and to score 10 points in 6 minutes, and that ain't happening. So, yeah, there's a lot of things you got to shore up, and it all starts with the defense, particularly the secondary. You have to get that right. And, Siobhan Reveal will be around here in a couple weeks. Butler will be back in a couple weeks. Maybe they give you some needed stability in the secondary. I'm not sure how much of a difference that they make. Deron Bland should be back hopefully by next week. But if you just gonna keep lining up in this zone defense with these big ass holes in the zone and keep giving up, passes down, 20, 30, 40, 50 yards downfield, don't matter who you got back there. You got to line this thing up and get it right. And that starts with the scheme, and that starts with your defensive coordinator. We'll see how it goes, man. I'm not sure. But it's got to be some restless people inside the locker room that aren't very happy with what's going on. And, they got to be talking to, the defense coordinator, trying to figure out what the hell is going to change. Because you got to do better. You're playing decent against the run. You're not getting beat on the right, especially not like last year, the year before that. The run is not your Achilles heel anymore. Now it's the deep pass is your Achilles heel. And that's even worse, because that happens fast. You understand what I'm saying? And no way receivers should be running down the field. Like Rome Odunze, I know Trayvon Diggs slipped, but man, there's no way in hell he should be running down the field that wide open. No way. Flea flick, I'll give you a pass, but that's embarrassing to run a damn flea flick on you for a 65-yard touchdown. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And Dak is gonna have to play without CeeDee Lamb, maybe for a week or two, maybe longer. You don't know. It definitely looked like a high ankle sprain. And sometimes high ankle sprains, especially, it gets worse as you stay off of it. So it all is all going to depend on how he wakes up tomorrow morning, goes to the locker room. That thing could be, it could have ballooned up, got bigger. And, we talking about anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. You're not going to have him either. So lots to figure out, man. Lots to figure out. Anyway, man, that's my show. I'm going to go sulk for about 10 or 15 more minutes, and then I'll be over it. We'll be back probably Tuesday We'll talk about, injury report, see how long CD is going to be out. And we'll see, hopefully throughout the week, you'll hear some chatter or something about, Cowboys in this defense. But you best believe that, these were media people are going to be after Eberflus's head. They're going to be after him because this is bad. It's got to get better than this. It has to. Like you can't just every game you get into is a track meet, and if your offense don't keep up, you're gonna get blown out. That's insane. Like you can't be competitive like that. Like that has to change. But anyway, Cowboys C3, man. Bears beat the Cowboys 31-14. Cowboys dropped to 1-2. Bears improved to 1-2. First win of the season. First win for head coach Ben Johnson. Congratulations on that. And on to Green Bay. Not to Green Bay. Green Bay is actually coming here, which that can be embarrassing. Last time they were here, you know what happened. But anyway, I'll see you guys on Tuesday, man. Get over this. Yeah, we'll all get over it, man. It's just embarrassing. That's all. Anyway, Cowboy C3, y'all. I'm out, man. Peace.